Hi guys, Anne in Paris, still in Paris, and thank God for that. I've got a bit of a dirty neck here. I think you've noticed this in the last video. Anyway, I want to talk about religion very briefly. I'm out here talking to myself out loud because there's no one to listen to me. This is what happens when you're on the streets and you lose your family. And as a result of being on the other side of the world, you're also detached from your friends. But I want to talk briefly about religion and how certain religions are connected. I studied Buddhism for 3 years in Western Australia, and it's funny how my teacher, my religious teacher, he's a Buddhist abbot, Ajahn Brahmamisvo, from the Bodhinyana Buddhist monastery in Western Australia. But I am a Catholic, there's no question, through the one true faith, and I do the rosary every day. Now, for 3 years I did follow that religion, and it was a very important experience for me because I had to learn the principles. And there are Buddhist precepts and the Eightfold Path that are also, these things are written in the Bible, and they're not taught through the Catholic faith unless you join a convent, which I don't want to do. I'm not a convent type girl. I think I swear too much for places like that. But anyway, and I was just kind of thinking out loud just before to absolutely nobody at all, so I thought I'd record it. This way I'm talking to somebody. And, you know, my teacher Ajahn Brahmamisvo, he used to tell us stories that are in the Tipitaka, which is their Bible. And I learned how to interpret my Bible by listening to his stories, my Catholic Bible, because they're in the Bible as well, but written differently. But the gist of the story, the lesson, and the experience we're supposed to draw from those scriptures is the same. And I wanted to talk about how I believe, you know, these religions are so closely connected to each other, despite the fact that they're so diverse. And at the same time, I think that the Buddhist faith, they have mastered the narrow door, which is the door to enlightenment. Now, this is in the Bible, guys, so you can actually find this, the story of the narrow door. And the Catholics, you know, we have the rosary, which is the strongest prayer in the world. We've got one chain of beads that fixes everything and covers everything. We're very lucky, actually, because God gives free will, and through that rosary we're also given our freedoms. God doesn't enslave women, and the rosary demonstrates that. And it's a very powerful prayer. In the rosary there are 15 treasures of grace that we are to experience over a lifetime when you pray it every day. So I do the long beads. I want to show you the ones that I do. Now, the Catholic Church have split the rosary, the three mysteries, the joyful, the sorrowful, and the glorious, over a span of a week. And the way that you're supposed to traditionally pray it, the way the Blessed Virgin introduced it to St. Dominic, is you're supposed to do the entire three in one prayer, and twice a day is sufficient. Twice a week, is sufficient. I'll show you the beads. Right, my favourite prayer in the world. But I want to say, I studied Buddhism for 3 years, and my religious teacher is my Buddhist abbot there, Ajahn. And he's very well known. He's very, very good. He's very good. Now, the Buddhists have mastered the narrow door, which is the door to enlightenment, and they've also mastered the golden rule: do to others as you shall have them do unto you. If you listen to his stories, the Bible writes of exactly the same lessons, but in different words. And I can't help thinking that although the two religions are diverse, they're also closely connected. And it's funny how I had to hear the Buddhist stories because I didn't understand the Bible, to understand what's in the Bible. And what I'm going to do in another video, not this one because I'm going to run out of time, if I keep this one under 10 minutes, I'll be able to upload it on YouTube easily. Otherwise it's too hard after that if it's too long. But I'm going to do a follow-up video because I want to demonstrate how the two religions are actually connected and how God uses one to explain the other to people like me who don't understand anything about religion. Now I understand a lot because of the way that I've had to learn my religion through the Buddhist teachings. Now I know it sounds complicated and probably something that you've never heard of before, but I'm going to demonstrate this in an adjoining video on how the two religions are closely connected. I did want to talk briefly about something, which is why I opened up this video. Ajahn Brahm, my teacher, Brahmisvo, he sat in front of us one day and he gave a speech about how it's, you know, the Buddhists, they levitate. The Catholic Church, the nuns and the priests and, you know, they've got convents and monasteries belonging to the Catholic Church. They levitate too. They do it through the rosary. This is one of the 15 treasures of grace hidden in the rosary. It's not specific to Buddhism, and other religions also experience this. This is the narrow door, guys, that God speaks about. Now, Ajahn was sitting in front of us one day and he was telling us about how it's so beautiful to levitate, and then, you know, during meditation, which is what they do, and then when they come back, when he comes back into his body, he's got to feel his aches and pains as a result of getting old, aging. And I just want to say that my interpretation of that is those aches and pains that we have to feel as we're getting older is how God tells us he is above us. So the Buddhists actually don't believe in God, they believe in themselves, the spirit. I had another teacher, Trent Saratman, God bless his soul now, he's passed away, and he taught me about the One Self, which is almost identical to the Native American Indian teachings. So I'm very lucky because I've had really, really good teachers. And I just want to wrap this up. I'm getting on to 7 minutes here. I want to wrap this up by saying how all this spirituality is all connected to God, the Creator. There are two gods in this world, guys. One is the one true God, which is the Creator. The American Indians, they call it the Great Mystery. They're talking about the same thing. And Siddhartha Gautama got his lessons by reading the scriptures of God from the Bible. Well, it wasn't the Bible then, it was the scriptures of God written by the hand of Jesus Christ. So it's all connected, guys. And the other God is money, which is a false God. And you'll find a lot of people call that religion. Now, what I wanted to say, to wrap it up, I'm a bit distracted by the time here. I've really got to keep this to below 10 minutes. What I want to say is they're all connected. And, you know, God is above it all. And if you understand God, you will understand how he is present in all these other religions. And you will understand how they are all connected as well, even though they speak different things. They're all connected. How he connects the dots in this world, you know, in order to teach us that there is no separatism. There are religions that are worshipping false gods, but God is in everything. He's in everything. He's in everything that moves. He's in everything that doesn't move. He's in absolutely everything from our souls to the very ground that we walk on, because the world is his. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to 8:45, and I've left this conversation undone like this on purpose, not concluded, because I'm going to do a follow-up video. This was basically the introduction of what I'm going to talk about later, and I'm going to join the videos together later on. Thanks for watching, and Jellicrisio in Paris. I've just woken up, guys, and still in Paris, and thank God for that. And I'll do a follow-up in the next video. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.